Austin and I are joined by Celestin Haba, a draft prospect this year for the 2023 NFL Draft. He's an edge rusher from Texas A&M Commerce. Celestin, welcome to the channel.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you on as well. So we're going to use this video to kind of learn more about you and also introduce you to the draft community that watches us here on YouTube. We're very excited to have you on. And I think one thing that we want to start with here is getting to know more about your time at Texas A&M Commerce. So walk us through a little bit, some of your experience there and kind of your journey on how you got there as well prior to coming to Texas A&M Commerce.
First off, I want to appreciate all the people that brought me to this point at Commerce, all my teammates, coaches that were a part of my journey in Commerce up to this point. So I got love for them, and that's long overdue. But my time here at Commerce was great. I came in, actually it was a quiet town, so I'm from the city, so it was a little. It took a little to get used to, but I eventually got used to it, and I feel like it was beneficial to me because it's nothing to do, so that gives me time to focus on classes, focus on football, and the things I need to do to be successful. So my first year here was fall of 2020, and we was going into COVID year, so I was prior to that I wasn't playing. I had to sit out. So that kind of gave me a refreshing feeling of I'm getting my feet back with. I'm getting back on the field. I'm getting accustomed back to practicing and all that. So to me, COVID kind of helped me. So I was able to get my classwork done and then get back on the field. So my first year was 2021. That was my first year, my first season playing football here at Commerce. It went pretty smooth. I played 5 games. I missed 6 games with injury, but I ended up having 5.5 sacks and made honorable mention. And I really enjoyed my first year. It gave me a feeling of I'm back on the football field. I'm back having fun. I'm back doing what I love to do. I'm back trying to achieve my goal and dream. So this past season was my last season at Commerce, my senior year, and we moved up to Division I FCS. So that was a great opportunity there. I got to showcase my skills against some of the top talent in the country. Got to play with, of course, my teammates from the prior year, the previous season, and then a couple new coaches and a couple old coaches. So the season went. We had an okay season for going to Division I, but I feel like it's a stepping stone for the future. Like I feel like the generation behind us will definitely have fun, definitely gonna have opportunity. But I definitely enjoyed it. Finished the season by I believe 5-6 or 6-5. I made first team all conference, and I'm just going from there.
Yeah, definitely a positive step forward moving from that, Division II up to that Division I level, like you mentioned. Austin, I know you had a couple of questions as well here for Celestin. Let's hear one of yours that you got for him.
Yeah, more so based on the staff there, David Bailiff was your head coach this year. I mean, what was it like playing under him? And also, defensive coordinator Kyle Williams and defensive line coach Michael Smith. I mean, probably a really good supporting cast that you had around you, helping you develop. And obviously going from a community college up to essentially Division I football, big step. I mean, there's a lot of changes. So maybe if you can talk about like the competition difference and what you noticed.
No, most definitely. Coach Bailiff, that's a good guy. I love Coach Bailiff. We have a great relationship. He helped me a lot throughout my journey through Commerce, so I'm very appreciative of Coach Bailiff. Coach Smith, too. He's a good coach to me. I really had him for 1 year, so that relationship is there, but we wasn't able to build it up just because I had him for a short amount of time. My previous coach before him was Coach Walker. That's who I really was able to build a relationship with. But Coach Smith was a good coach. Coach Bailiff, of course, helped me throughout my journey a lot over there. And a couple of the other coaches on the staff, Coach Williams is a favorite of mine, and other coaches as well.
Nice. Well, that's really cool. I mean, just having that staff, having some continuity along the staff goes a long ways in terms of, becoming a draft prospect and also just, establishing a winning culture, which, Texas A&M Commerce, a good program, trying to build up further and further. I mean, they put a lot of good teams out there. Now, the next part of this too is the last drafted prospect from Texas A&M Commerce, if I'm not mistaken, was 2004. Antonio Wilson, drafted in the 4th round, linebacker, went to the Minnesota Vikings. So let me ask you this. You had a lot of dogs on your team this year. You talked about them a little bit on your Twitter. You mentioned that to us. I mean, do you feel like this group is special And do you think there's a chance that, if not one, but maybe more than one gets drafted this year?
Most definitely. First and foremost, I want to mention Cater Cole, who he played with us last year. He currently plays for the Miami Dolphins. He started, I believe, almost every game and made first team all rookie. So he really paved the way for there's athletes at Commerce, come check us out. So I really feel like this draft class here is gonna be like a surprise to a lot of people. Like, how come, where did all these athletes come from? We've been here the whole time. It's just that now we're coming to light. And thanks to Cater, now it's a light shine upon us, and people are starting to realize that we have some great players here.
Yeah, you definitely have a lot of guys that are able to compete at a high level. And part of the issue with the NFL draft process is essentially exposure, which that is something huge for some of these athletes that are not getting recognized across the country, playing at smaller schools, not having the national TV games, not having the scouts on them being looked at. That's why there are some guys that slip through the cracks. You look at, people like Austin Eckler, who went through the whole draft process. He's a UDFA, signs on, and, the rest is history. Philip Lindsay, another example as well. Those are some of those, really talented athletes that go to, like Western Colorado and just don't get the true recognition they deserve, which is, part of, what your guys' issue is just that national exposure. You're not playing the big TV games. You're not playing SEC football. So, I think people forget about that. There's a lot of backups even on certain, Division I teams that will even get selected in the draft based off of their high school pedigree, whatever it may be. So let me ask you this too. I mean, playing at a community college, Scottsdale Community College to be exact, what was that like in terms of getting that opportunity to go to A&M Commerce?
So originally I started out Division II, North Greenville University in Greenville, South Carolina. So the following season, I transferred to junior college, Scottsdale Community College in Arizona, and I ended up blowing up. Like, I had 17 and a half sacks, 33 TFLs, and I was just hearing from all kind of Power Fives around the country. And to me, that's big because I'm coming from D2. Now, Oregon is hitting my phone, or USC Trojans, or Alabama. So to me, I just like, as much as I believed in myself, I didn't think I'd elevate to that part of my career. So I ended up committing to Western Kentucky after junior college, and I had to sit out 2019 for grades or whatnot. So that situation did not end up working out. So the following year, 2020, is when I actually transferred to Commerce in the fall. So that's how that came about.
Your transition to Commerce too, you talked about, kind of finding your footing again. I do want to, give you a little bit of praise too. You look at the transition, like you talked about, going into, a now Division I program at the FCS level. Some of that production did not fall off for you. I noticed, 3 sacks this year. You had an interception that you took to the house with an awesome celly as well. You had a fumble recovery too. And one thing that really stood out to me is not only, are you a hardworking person who's trying to put yourself out there, but you're also, like Austin mentioned earlier, you like to praise your teammates as well and bring some of the attention to them with yourself, which really stood out to me in some of the conversations that we've had. How would you go about characterizing yourself as someone in the locker room? How do you, get along with the boys?
I feel like I'm a people person. Like, anybody can come to me with any kind of problem. It doesn't even have to be about football. Like, nobody's perfect. You feel me? If you need to come talk to me, come talk to me. I'll give you advice. You give me advice. Same. Like, I feel like anybody, not even only in the locker room, but in the world, would say that. Like, I'm a type of person that put people before myself, and sometimes it might hurt me, and sometimes it might not. That's just the bet I take on myself because that's the type of person I am. That's how I carry myself. So I definitely feel like I'm a people person. I like to not only praise myself, but praise my teammates, because if I win, I want my teammates to win. Maybe it's not the same way I would, but as long as we all successful, as long as we all get to achieving our goals and dreams, then that's beneficial to everybody.
Right. Definitely the type of personality a lot of NFL teams are looking to add into that locker room for sure. When you look at, 53 guys on the active roster, you got practice squad in there as well. You want positive influences around your guys in that locker room. And I think that's something that definitely sticks out to you, or about you to me, rather. Austin, what other questions you got for Celestin here?
Yeah, now I think we can kind of transition into the post-collegiate career now for you, the following steps. Now, who are some of the people that are kind of advising you through this process? Because this is uncharted waters for you, as it is some of, the people in your life, and you're trying to figure out your pathway, your footing, you're trying to gain exposure, like we've talked about a little bit already. What does that process kind of look like getting ready for the draft? The Tropical Bowl, if you haven't checked out some of his Celestin's highlights from it, good stuff to watch. Really, really fun to watch some of the scrimmage play and watch him, dominate opposing tackles. Really fun to watch that. But tell me about that transition now into, draft prep.
Well, right after the season, the first 2 weeks was definitely stressful because I did not know what steps to take. I didn't know what to do next. I didn't know who to call or this, that, the third. So, of course, I called some of my old teammates that are in the league, some people that I know that are in the NFL that have been through the same shoes I've been through to get advice, like Cater Kohu and Marvin Wing from the Eagles, and even old coaches, Casey Walker, and my trainer, D-line trainer, Brandon Tucker, other D-line trainer, Kevin Washington. I just got advice from all kind of people how to go throughout this process, because this process here is definitely stressful, and it's definitely one you have to be mentally prepared for. So they got me through this process, but I feel like now it's flowing. Now I'm able to understand the process. I'm starting to take my time with it. I'm starting to make smart decisions and just see where it takes me. So I definitely enjoy this process at the same time. As much as I say it's stressful, I'm definitely enjoying this process because not too many people are able to take this opportunity. So I'm blessed to even say I'm doing this process. I'm a part of this process.
Yeah, I would definitely love to add on to that and jump on here with kind of, all the technical stuff you have to go through, making sure you're doing all the right steps, all the, parts of the process. You obviously still have to be working on your game. What does that kind of look like for you right now in terms of, you're doing some of this prep work while also still, staying in shape, staying on top of your football game right now?
Most definitely. About next week, I'm about to go start getting ready for pro day training so I can be on top of that and have the best numbers I can for pro day. But other than that, I'm staying on top of my game. I make sure I'm staying on top of recovery because we put our body through so much during the season to catch back up as far as health-wise. So I'm staying on top of recovery. I'm staying in training to stay in shape. And I'll just keep my foot on the gas with those mainly those two things because I got like a couple months, really 1.5 before the pro day. So I'm trying to lock in mentally on taking care of my body and at the same time staying in shape just because I know like this is the biggest test of my life and I have no room for error. So I have to be physically and mentally ready for this challenge. And I feel like I'm definitely up for it, definitely prepared, and definitely taking the right steps to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll jump back in here as well. So now when it comes to making those smart decisions, right? Preparing, putting yourselves in a good position, surrounding yourselves with people that you can trust. Now, I don't know if you've gotten this deep into the process in terms of finding an agent to represent you. Have you been able to lean on some of those, mentors that you have and things of that nature, guys in the league, in terms of like recommendations for an agent? Explain, what you understand about that part of the process.
From my understanding, what people told me, it's better for agents to find you because now you have options. So at first I'm a JUCO kid, so I was taking I was actually on the foot of the gas of trying to find an agent, trying to send my email out and my highlights and whatnot. But then eventually agents started coming at me. So now what I was previously told is better for agents to come at me. Now I'm a part of that process. So I was blessed enough to have options, and now I do have an agent that's representing me. So I was definitely blessed to be a part of that process for agents to come at me. And I was able to find the best agent for me as far as trust and fit, and also like what they can do for me as far as the connection they have to the NFL.
Right. I think that's got to be a pretty nice, little boost of confidence too in this process. You're taking some of these big, scary steps. You're not really sure where it's going to lead for sure. But to have another person who, kind of has your back in this and, believes in you as well, I'm sure that goes a long way. What does that kind of relationship feel like for you at this stage of the process?
I feel like that kind of relationship, of course, it's going to get built over time. You just can't make it overnight. But I feel like we're definitely taking the right steps towards of having a great relationship because we are able to communicate on a great level. We're able to understand each other. That's a big part of this process, understanding each other, understanding my goals and what I want for myself, and they are able to, my agent is able to understand me, is able to support me, and is able to advise me throughout this process. So like you mentioned, that relationship part is definitely big. I feel like we are building a great relationship for now in the future, and I look forward to it.
Yeah,
Glad to
absolutely.
hear that.
That's really good. Now, in terms of the actual NFL draft, now there's a lot of players that bring a lot to the table. You know, guys like B.J. Ojulari, Miles Murphy, Andre Carter II, Nolan Smith. Some of these guys are some big time, you know, edge rushers. You know, obviously a lot of them being which from the SEC schools. They're tough, man. They're really tough. A lot of those first and second round guys are getting a lot of the spotlight here. I mean, what part of your game stands out in your mind, you know, where you can feel like, man, I can really hang with these guys, you know, just give me a chance in camp. What are some of your big strengths of your game?
Well, first of all those players you mentioned are great players, and I know they will have a great future in the NFL. And I feel like me personally, I was supposed to be on that level, but it didn't work out, and that's on my behalf. Like, that's my fault. I was supposed to do that, and now I'm basically catching back up or trying to rebrand myself of, hey, I was that guy and I'm still that guy. So I feel like my strengths are, I'm creative. Like, I have a great get off. I have a motor that's unmatched, and I just feel like, personally, I feel like, as humble as I am, I feel like I have some of the best assets to compete in the National Football League, and that's not even only playing edge. I can play a little bit linebacker. I'll do special teams, this, that, third. I just feel like to me, there's not a lot of people that compete with me athletically and just what I can do off the ball. Like, the skill set I have, the get off, all that mixed into one. I just feel like it's unmatched. Like, you can almost compare it to players that are already in the league, or I just feel like I have a great game that obviously I can work on to build off that, but I just feel like my game is unmatched. Like, it's not a lot of people that can do what I do, I believe.
Yeah, I definitely like hearing that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of somebody who a lot of our viewers are going to know really well. Adam Thielen, of course, was a D2 player himself. When he first caught on with the Minnesota Vikings, he was a special teams player for them. Of course, had some big time plays off of special teams. And, you know, you mentioned special teams. I think that there's a lot of ways to contribute to an NFL roster, even if it doesn't mean, you know, downs 1 through 3 right away on day one of your career. And, you know, it's really good to hear that from you. But I also do think that you do have some nice skill sets that could help on downs 1 through 3. I have noticed on a lot of your film that you are a stand-up edge rusher, where you like to start your stance upright. Is that something the coaches there were having you do, or are you a little bit more versatile than that, and you are kind of good with doing either?
I'm good with doing it. I'm a little versatile. It's just something I got used to doing over the years, so I'm just comfortable with doing it, and I know I can play very, very fast. I can also do that out of the 3 in different other positions, but I feel like that's most comfortable to me. I feel like I can produce and play best at that position, standing up.
Like it. I like it.
Most definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to be excited about, you know, with your game, watching the film. I mean, I watch a lot of film throughout the course of the year. And when you presented me with some of your stuff, I was absolutely blown away. And it's tough because, once again, I would have never found out without any amount of exposure, just because I don't have A&M Commerce games readily available. Now, here is your time to vouch for your teammates. Now, because you're a team guy, who are some of your teammates that you feel can make it?
I feel like D. Walker, he's a great linebacker, hard-hitting linebacker, can play sideline to sideline. He's going to be a great name to watch for. Darius Williams, he's going to be one of the biggest names. He plays safety. He's a hard hitter, ball hawk, fast, twitchy. Like, it's just so many things about him that you compare to these guys in the NFL that you'll be like, he'll be perfect on this team or perfect on this team. Ben Hutch, big D tackle. I love playing beside him. He made my job so much easier. I feel like I could just fly to the quarterback without being touched because he's able to press the pocket. So that's going to be a name to watch. Deontay Smith, lockdown corner. He won first team all conference, I believe. He has unmatched skill set at the corner position. He was able to build his game over the years, and I feel like he's going to be a big name to watch. Mike Noble, hard-hitting linebacker, probably the smartest out the group. He's definitely going to be a sleeper. I feel like he's going to be a sleeper. and he's gonna surprise a lot of people when he is blessed enough to make an NFL roster. Princeton Lawler, definitely underrated. He's gonna be a kind of a guy that a lot of people wasn't paying attention to, but he's gonna be a sleeper. Justice Williams, he's gonna be a sleeper. He's a great player for us. And we just got a lot of guys. Even one of my best friends, Isaiah Curry, used to play with us. He plays at Valdosta State now. He's gonna be a big sleeper, hard worker, can fly off the edge, and he's definitely gonna be a sleeper. With me and Isaiah was able to kind of build our stock throughout these bowl games, and that was a great experience for me because this is somebody I played with, and somebody I've been known for a couple of years, and even though we're basically competing for a job, it's fun at the same time because we're chasing our goals. We're able to have fun with this process. As stressful as it is at the end of the game, at the end of the day, we're playing a game that we love. And it's fun to see him succeed as well as see myself succeed and build our stock from there.
Yeah, I love that. A little bit of iron sharpens iron as you two are kind of working against each other, but toward the same goal. I love to hear that. Yeah. Austin, any other kind of questions you got here for Celestin?
No, I think that kind of covers it. I think we got a lot of, great information here, learning a little bit about your process, learning about you as a prospect too. And I think it's going to be really great for our viewers to, finally get some true exposure to your game. We'll be posting some highlights with all of this as well, so they can, see it and get to know you as a player. And let's get the hype train going for you, because I need to see you drafted. It's going to happen. We're going to speak it into existence. You heard it here first on Utility Sports. He is going to be a drafted player.
Let's get some Texas A&M Commerce hype down in the comment section below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Celestin, thanks for hopping on with us. It's been a blast having you on the channel, and we're wishing you the best of luck moving forward. Believe in you big time. I love your pedigree. Love everything you've presented in this interview, and it's been a pleasure talking with you and getting to know you a little bit better. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.